Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
My name is Reece and I am an out-and-out carp addict. I remember as a kid spending more than one summer's day asleep on my dad's unhooking mat. I spent many years since doing my absolute best to perfect my skills in our favourite pastime. This year I'll be doing it all on camera for the world to see. Welcome to the Syndicate. Hello and welcome to the Syndicate. This is Twin Lakes Angling Syndicate in Horncastle, Lincolnshire. We've come here set up for a brand new campaign this year. Just going to have a look around, see if we can see any fish. Hope you enjoy the vlog.
It's way too easy to say stuff I never do. You know it's not how I feel, baby.
So, I've seen a few likely shows in this swim in particular this morning. Thinking about giving it a bash, but I'm still not 100% sure. So I'm going to carry on with my walk around the lake and see what happens. As you can see from this shot behind me, this lake's almost entirely surrounded by willow trees, which makes plenty of cover for the carp, but finding a spot to fish actually quite difficult. We'll carry on as we are and hopefully we'll get some more signs. So as I mentioned before, I've seen a few shows this morning. They've all been down this margin. It's all completely covered with willow trees down this bank, and I think I'd be foolish not to give it a crack. That's me set up now for the next 36 hours. I've got a rod out down the left-hand margin, which is underneath some overhanging willow trees. I've put about 5 scoops of EVG baits and particles, including the new insect meal, which is set to hit the shelves very soon. And that is basically all I've done with that rod. My middle rod is out on a zig. Nothing around it at all. It's in about 10 foot water, so I'll put it at 8.5 foot. Now, I believe with the temperature today, even though it's quite windy, they will be up in the upper layers, and I'm really hoping that that may actually produce at some point, but we shall see. Despite my initial optimism, the weather changed on a sixpence and began to blow a cold easterly directly into my swim. A move was quickly on the cards. It was time to up sticks and try my chances on the other side of the lake. As you can see, we've had a swim change. Swim that I saw a lot more shows in this morning. With the wind battering into that other peg that I originally set up in. It's a cold wind, I can't see the fish following it. It's a lot calm around here. And the sun is definitely beating down on this side of the lake, so if they're going to be anywhere, I'd imagine they're on this side. We'll just have to wait and see what happens from here. Hopefully we'll have a few, who knows. The night grew dim and the morning light quickly broke with no fish to report. However, I had some fun in the night battling with a bird that decided to scupper my plans of an early morning bite. Good morning, welcome back to the Syndicate vlog. Nothing to report through the night apart from a duck wiping my lines out. I managed to get my left and right hand rod back out now with fresh hook baits on the same spots. just waiting to see something on the middle rod so I can cast to it. It's flat calm this morning, so really hoping I can see something pretty soon. I'm going to make a cup of tea and I'll get back to you soon. Take care. Unfortunately, my session drew to an end with no fish to boo, yet full of optimism knowing I'd cleaned a few spots ready for my next outing. 2 weeks later began my first official day on the Syndicate. Turning up to the lake early that morning, I found 3 other anglers set up making the most of the first few days on their new ticket. Therefore, I found my options relatively limited as far as swims go, but all was not lost. After spending a good 25 minutes walking around the lake, I found what looked to be my best bet for a bite. Having seen signs of carp at the tip of an overhanging willow tree, I set about getting a rig on the spot. Within 15 minutes, and with only one rod in the water at this point, there rang the unmistakable warble of a trusty delkin that was quickly confirmed by a hooped round rod tip. Before too long, a gnarly old character found itself on my unhooking mat. At this point, I could hardly believe my luck. Finding out the other 3 anglers on hadn't even had a liner since the previous Thursday. Getting off the mark this early on certainly put the wind back in my sails. That being said, nothing else happened for the rest of that day, so I got myself home and returned to the water again 2 days later. Once again, the session quickly got off to a flying start. At first I thought I'd been done, until my bobbin slapped the rod pod and my line went completely slack. It was then clear I'd experienced a savage drop back. After retrieving line for what seemed like an eternity, I finally came into contact with the fish. A 10-minute battle ensued and I finally managed to tumble my prize into my landing net. This one came in the shape of a 22-pound 8-ounce chestnut mirror, and what a thing of beauty it was. If my last 2 fish were anything to go by, I was in for some real treats from this lake in the months to come.